Good morning, everyone. In this week's Torah portion, Jethro, arrives in the desert to join his son-in-law after the exodus from Egypt. And he sees the way Moses is single-handedly answering all the questions and resolving all the disputes amongst the Jewish people from morning to night. And he says, this is not a good idea. You're going to get burnt out. The people are waiting online all day to talk to you. You should set up a judicial system. And he recommends that you have heads of 10, heads of 50, heads of 100, and heads of thousands. Different levels of courts. A simple question arrives at the heads of 10. Every 10 Jews had a judge. If that judge couldn't answer it, it went to a higher court and a higher court, till it arrived at the highest court. And if the highest court couldn't answer it, the question only then came to Moshe Rabbeinu. And if Moshe couldn't answer it, he asked God for the answer. But the Rabbi asks a question. He says, if Moses started to appoint judges on different levels, wasn't there a lot of jealousy amongst the judges? Who was chosen for a lower court and who was chosen for a higher court? And the Rabbi gives a beautiful answer. And he says, when Jethro tells his son-in-law to pick judges, he names the 4 criterias that the judges have to have. The first thing is they should be Anshe Chayil, men of valor. The second thing is Yirei Elokim, God-fearing. The third thing is Anshi Emes, men of truth. And the fourth one is Sonei Batza. They should despise money. They shouldn't be able to be bribed. Says the Rebbe, if someone is a truthful, honest person, Anshi Emes, they possess the trait of truth, they'll never be jealous. Why? Because in Pirkei Avot, there's a rabbi by the name of Ben Zoma who says, who is a wise person? You would think a wise person is someone who everyone learns from him. Says Ben Zoma, no. A wise person is someone who learns from everyone else. Halomed mikol adam. Then it says, who ezo gibor, who's a strong person? You would think a strong person controls others. He says, no. Hakovesh et yitzro, one who could conquer his own inclination, subdue his inclination, to be able to show respect and surrender to someone else. Who is... He goes on to say a rich person. He says, you would think a rich person is someone who has all the money in the world. He says, no, a rich person is hasameach b'chako, is happy with his lot. And then he says, ezel mechubad, who's an honorable person. And again, you would think an honorable person is someone who gets honor from everyone else. He says, no, hamechabed et habriot, someone who honors other people. That's the truly honorable person. Says the Rebbe, a truthful person knows that there's nothing to be jealous of. Why? Because if someone else gets more honor than you, that doesn't detract from your honor. Because honor doesn't get measured by how much people show you honor. The measure of how honorable you are is how much honor you show others. And therefore there was no jealousy amongst the judges, because they were men of truth, and they understood that honor comes from the respect you show to others, not from the respect that you receive. It's a story about 2 of the great rabbis of the previous generation, Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky and Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, 2 of the greatest, brilliant Torah scholars. And they were once at a wedding, and someone offered to drive them home. They had a driver. The driver pulled up the car in front of the wedding hall. The rabbis opened the doors, and before they got in, they started having a conversation. So the driver was wondering, what are they talking about? They must be in some deep Talmudic discussion about some profound matter. They both got into the car. Rabbi Moshe went in the front seat, Rabbi Yaakov in the back seat. He went to the first stop, the home of Rabbi Yaakov, and dropped off Rabbi Yaakov. After Rabbi Yaakov left the car, the driver turned to Rabbi Moshe and said, may I ask what you were discussing? I saw you had a conversation before you got into the car while the doors were open. Rabbi Moshe said, what we were discussing is who should go in the front seat and who should go in the back seat. We decided that the one who's getting off first, which was Rabbi Yaakov, should go in the back seat, and I'll sit in the front seat because I'm being dropped off second. Because we didn't want that after Rabbi Yaakov leaves the car, I should be sitting in the back seat, because then you would feel like you're a chauffeur. We didn't want you to feel like a chauffeur. So the one who was getting off last sat alongside you in the front seat. This is what it means to show honor to others, to respect others, to show dignity to others, to care about sensitivity for others. And that's what makes you an honorable person. Have a wonderful day.